back in the craft room, and I'm going to do another Valentine's Day heart craft, and it doesn't just have to be for Valentine's Day. I have this mold that I used before for the string heart that I had a lot of great responses from, and I've made this clay, and it's made out of cornstarch and salt, and I'll put the recipe on the description, or the link to the recipe in the description. And it's really easy to use, and it's going to harden, and you can do anything you want with it. So I'm going to try to put it in the mold. Now I don't want to go over the rim too much because I'm hoping to make two halves. You want to kind of keep that in mind as you're doing it, and you can always take like a craft knife or something and just trim it off if you do go over it. And you want it kind of thin but not too thin, because you want it to be sturdy enough but you can kind of mold it and work it. I'm going to show you it's all in there pretty good. So we're going to leave that to dry, and I'll make a couple more since I have enough of the clay dough. And this is really great, non-toxic for the kids, and something that if you don't want to run out and buy any clay, you can make it. All you need is the cornstarch, salt, and water. I left the hearts overnight to dry, and they pop right out of here. And they haven't completely dried, so I'll let them dry a little bit longer. But I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't come out, and for the most part they come out pretty easily. When the pieces are dry, they're going to come out looking like this. And they're going to have rough edges on the bottom unless you're really neat about it, which I wasn't. And all I did was I took some sandpaper, and I took the pieces and I just rubbed it against the sandpaper to kind of smooth it out. You're going to want to find two pieces that are very similar. Now you're not going to have them match up 100% perfect, but they'll be pretty close. I've painted the inside of the two half hearts that I'm going to be attaching together, and this is when, and it's all dry, and this is what you're going to do next. I wrote a little note, and all it says is I love you, and I'm going to curl it up and put it in here. And this is going to be a private little message from me to whoever, and whoever I give this to, they don't even have to know that it's in there. So just think of the possibilities. You could do this for your husband or your boyfriend. You could put a little note in there, best friends forever, for you and your friends. You could put you're the best mom and give it to your mom for Mother's Day. If you have a friend undergoing an illness, you can say, you know, please get healthy, or, you know, just put a little note in there, just, you know, for a little, send something good out into the universe. You're not going to use Weld Bond glue, and you don't have to use Weld Bond. You can use any glue that you have or that you want, as long as you can paint it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fair amount of glue, because I really want it to hold on the side, on the one side of one of them. And remember, this wasn't a perfect fit, and we're going to make that better later. So here was like a gap, so I'm going to put maybe a little bit more glue on there. And then I'm going to press it together, make sure I get it lined up good. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And here's the area that had the gap. What I'm going to do is put a little extra glue in there, and all I'm going to do is take my finger and run it along the entire seam of the heart. And I'm going to let this dry, and when I feel like it's really good and dry, I'm going to sand the edges so they kind of line up and look better, because right now they're still a little bit rough because they don't fit perfectly. And then I'm just going to leave it to sit here to dry. Okay, I have the heart painted red, and I want to hang it, so I'm going to need to drill a hole in the top, and I'm going to use this screw eye and screw that in there, and that will be the holder. And then I'm going to touch up any paint that I might have messed up after drilling it. So we'll do that. And once we have the hole in there, we can screw the screw eye in, just to make sure that it works. And it is going to work. So that's what it's going to look like, but I'm going to put a little weld bond glue in there to make sure that it will stay. Alright, once I get some glue in there, I'm going to just twist it and leave it to dry. And that should create a pretty good bond. And I'm going to twist it this way so that in the event you want to wear it as even a pendant, it's kind of big, but that way it's going the right way for if you had a cord that you wanted to put through it. So we're going to put that aside to dry. The secret heart has dried, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer of resin over it. And I'm going to do that for two reasons. One, I really like the finish that it gives, and second, I like the fact that it'll give it a little bit of strength because this is the salt clay, and I think that will just help. So what I'm going to do is I've already pre-mixed my resin, which is the Easy Cast. And I'm going to have it on, I'm going to do this to have it dry. I'm going to have it on this skewer over a disposable cup, and then I'm going to paint the resin on with a disposable brush, and then I'm going to leave it there to just drip and dry so I don't have to worry about having it make a mess anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it up here, and then I'm going to dip my brush into the resin, and I'm just going to brush it right on and kind of move it around, brush it on. Once I think I've covered everything on the bottom and the sides, then I'm going to hang it there, and then I'm going to get the top part because I didn't want to do that when I was holding it. And what you're going to want to do is every once in a while it's hanging here, you're going to want to check it because it's going to drip, and you're going to want to wipe. You'll want to pick it up and just dab at the bottom so that you don't get any big drips that are going to stay there and be a permanent part of your piece. And then we're just going to let it hang there to dry overnight. Here's our secret heart, and it's all dry. And I do have a little drip on the bottom that I'll need to just sand down, and I'll just dab a little bit of clear nail polish on there. You'll never know it was there. And you could wear this as a pendant, or you could give it as a gift, as a little ornament to have hanging around, or you could have it, you know, hanging on the rearview mirror maybe, or just give it to somebody to have. It could be on a package, and you could decorate this in a lot of different ways. I just stayed with the standard red on this one, but here's some other ones that I did that I'm working on for another project. These are the half hearts that I had in the mold, and all I did was polka dots on these just to have a little bit of fun with it. I hope you give it a try. I hope you like it, and remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Happy crafting. And don't forget to go check out my website at www.craftklotch.com.